Our final artist performed at Meta Arts Fest. Sofia Fly is a DJ, producer, songwriter, musician from Brampton living in Toronto. Her music features poetic party girl lyrics set to a Latin-inspired fusion of hip-hop and house music. Her DJ sets are complex, genre-hopping, beat puzzles built around her own signature remixes and beats. Her hit single, Patrona, and her newest project, Fly Beats to Virgo Rising, are available to stream on all major music streaming platforms. Sofia is a queer nightlife staple, downtown Toronto freelance DJ, and has played venues such as the Drake Hotel, Coda, Rec Room, and Flash. She is the event curator for Pride Toronto and was named Now Magazine's Artist to Watch in 2020. She has also done sound design and audio engineering for theater, drag, and burlesque performers, as well as produced and mixed music short films and other local music artists. There was never a definitive start for Sofia in her art journey.
There wasn't really a start for me. It was kind of just like, I was always a creative kid. I was blessed enough to grow up in a very musical family where there was a piano. My dad could play 3 instruments. My mom was part of like a traveling, touring, singing group. So that bug was just always there. And when I got older, I heard about this program called Fruity Loops. It's called FL Studio now, but I just remember like a couple of my friends being like, yo, Fruity Loops, you can make your own beats. And I was like really into hip hop at the time, and I thought that was super cool. So I messed around with that for a bit. Really got into producing like heavy. I just, really owned in on that skill for as much as I could. I got obsessed with being really good at it, and then I went to school for it at Seneca. We have a music production program there, and then from there I made some beats for some people. I did some music for short films, did whatever little audio engineering, sound producing gig I could find. And then I was doing that for a while, and then I realized like I really want to bring this to the party. I like music in a party setting, and I was always the person who kind of like made the playlist for the road trip, etc. So I'm like, I should try DJing. Why haven't I tried this yet? Like I have all the skills already, literally. So around like 4 years ago, I just rented a controller from Long and McLean, taught myself, got into it, and now it's like my favorite artistic lane. It's a lot of fun.
Inspiration for Sofia comes from the media that she consumes.
Currently, that's a tough one. I'm sure we're all like grasping at straws for inspiration right now. But currently, it is what it always is, which is just like kind of life, the world around me, and like good TV and good like, and other music too. Other music really inspires me. I'll hear some cool shit and be like, ooh, I want to like do that, but like kind of differently, like this kind of. Those things are always fun. Just life in general, and I guess like that's the difficult part of it. It's like when there's not as much life happening, like in a lockdown, it's like where does the inspiration come? So, but it's still from life.
Sofia's creative process starts with just being and breathing.
The process for me looks a lot like having a lot of different projects going on at the same time. I'm usually working on like at least 6 different songs, because I only like to work on music when I'm excited about it. It's hard to like, even when there's a deadline, like sometimes you have to push through, but it's still best to not push through. It's like you don't want to try and develop an idea that you are only having because you're in kind of like a stale, uncreative headspace. So I like to bounce around different projects because as soon as I get bored with one, then I can move on to a next one, and that next one then feels fresh. I put down whatever new ideas I have for that and then move on to something else to just keep the cycle going.
Fly on the beat, bitch.
The pandemic gave an opportunity to Sofia to take a breather from gigs and focus on her own music.
I at first kind of appreciated it because I was doing a lot of DJing, which is great. I'm blessed that I'm able to make a decent living off of music, and I worked to put myself in that situation. Um, but as a result, it's like hard to focus on my own music when there's like lots of gigs happening, because it's like it's not always like my music that I'm showcasing when I'm DJing. Sometimes it's just like a typical club night. So uh, that can kind of like I appreciated the world kind of settling down and like just giving everyone a bunch of time, and like finances weren't a situation. Excuse me. Um, yeah, it was good to initially just have time to breathe, time to relax, and then focus on what I first loved, which was producing, like I said earlier. And as a result, I think that really got good. It really brought my focus back to my first love, producing. It really gave me an opportunity to find my sound. You know, we kind of like had to really know who we were when this pandemic was going on, because sometimes we think we are like all the things that we go to, but then when we're alone in a room, it's very like, oh, who am I? What am I motivated by now? So that really was a spiritual journey.
Bouncing back from the pandemic, Sofia believes that it's still important to invest the same energy into virtual spaces.
I'm preparing, I guess, by not expecting full normalcy when we get back. I am investing a lot in like personal, like at home, uh, like a capture card, like a webcam. Like I'm realizing how beneficial it is to have like a good online home setup for things like Twitch, for a lot of the virtual things that are happening instead of live events, because as we know with this like second lockdown, I don't know how long this is going to go for. So basically having some kind of platform that exists for me online is a great look, because then I'm not like dependent on a bar that might shut down one day. Like I hope it doesn't, but it's just that over the pandemic like really helped me notice the value of like an online platform that you can kind of control on your own. So I'm kind of going back with a attitude of making sure that I have my lane to do my own thing, because once we get back into normalcy and I'm back doing all these crazy amounts of shows that I was talking about earlier, it's gonna be easy to kind of lose like your identity in that, and lose yourself in all the chaos.
If Sofia's work was put into a capsule today and someone dug it up 50 years from now, here's how she would want that person to feel.
I would just want them to, I don't know, hopefully just vibe to it, you know. That's really my goal for all my music. It's like I hope people just like throw this on while they're doing their dishes, throw this on while they're smoking a joint. Vibes, you know, just soundtrack to life.
Fly on the beats, bitch.